Matt, there have been 8 coups in Africa since 2020, 6 of them in former French colonies. Now, the French have remained much more involved in their colonies than, for example, the British have. And there's been this surge of anti-French resentment, mainly amongst young people, many of whom have supported these coups. Now, that's gone on at the same time as 2 other things. First, jihadi groups, Islamic State and Al-Qaeda gaining ground in Sahelian countries, and also Russia looking for new allies, partly because it's lost so many because of the war in Ukraine. That means that Russia is here in this part of Africa looking to increase its influence. So the coup here in Niger, it's not just something that happens in Africa. This has global implications. Who would have thought that the aftermath of a coup would lead to such an outpouring of enthusiasm, at least amongst supporters of the military takeover in Niger and those who want to prove their loyalty? Even fighting over flags to show who's the most patriotic. Not much sympathy here for the ousted civilian president who's under palace arrest and his ministers who've been imprisoned. The perennial problems of corruption, insecurity and poverty can now all be blamed on the ancien régime.
Nous sommes dans le bon chemin de résoudre ça puisqu'on a commencé à emprisonner ceux qui ont bouffé l'argent du Niger, l'argent des pauvres. Ils sont déjà en prison. Il y aura justice. Il y aura, Inch'Allah, justice.
On ne peut pas manger la justice.
Non, on ne peut pas manger la justice, mais quand même, les pauvres auront maintenant leur part dans la gestion. Ils auront leur mot dans la gestion.
Avant la France, avant Macron, tous unis, vive le Niger!
The old colonial power, which sent troops to help the former government combat jihadis, has been forced out. Even a motorbike can have a special Nigerian identity because the coup is presented as a way for the country to regain its sovereignty. These kind of rallies are being held day and night across the capital. The aim isn't just to get people to praise their new leaders, but also to denounce France and neighbouring countries. That way, any economic problems can be blamed not on the coup, but on outsiders and colonialists. The new military governor of Niamey is keen to explain the series of coups that have swept across the Sahel.
C'est des actions ponctuelles, c'est pas une épidémie. C'est des actions salvatrices qui viennent à temps pour mettre une fin à quelque chose que le peuple décrit.
But the military weren't elected by the people of Niger.
Oui, il n'y a pas d'élection. Il y a une légitimité.
Mais il y a un coup d'État.
Mais c'est légitime.
Pourquoi?
Mais parce que c'est légitime, c'est le peuple qui le veut.
To bolster the argument, enter an influential Pan-African activist, reportedly funded by Russia's Wagner Group.
Where are you from?
Channel 4, Britain.
I hope you will not demonize us. That is true. I know European media.
Kemi Seba styles himself on Malcolm X and supports the coup in Niger as he did that in neighbouring Mali, which has welcomed Wagner Group fighters to combat the jihadis.
Le Niger appartient aux Nigériens et l'Afrique appartient aux Africains.
But what can the Russians do?
And I said that military, in the world of military, Russia can help us, like Iran can help us, like Cuba can help us, like Turkey can help us. But all these nations need to understand that military cooperation doesn't mean colonization. And if they try to do the same things that French oligarchy had made with us, I swear God is my witness, we will fight them, definitely.
The Russians are already taking
Too much question in English. Thank you very much. Thank you, take care.
Thank you. He and the coup leaders agree with the ousted civilian regime that jihadi groups who shot this video in Niger just before the coup must be crushed. Niger hasn't invited the Russians to help, but may yet do so, even though in neighbouring Mali the jihadis have only grown stronger after 2 coups, the withdrawal of the French and the intervention of the Wagner Group. Just one man dared to suggest to me, maybe there is no military solution, either on the battlefield or in the presidential palace, and the coup will likely lead to further instability.
Un pouvoir militaire est forcément pire qu'une démocratie. Ça, la question ne se pose même pas. Un pouvoir militaire ne peut pas être plus efficace, ça c'est certain. Et je pense qu'on est en train de se tromper très lourdement et on risque de le payer très cher. Et donc parce que ce qui est en train de se passer, c'est qu'on va avoir des régimes militaires qui vont vouloir s'installer de façon durable.
It's all singing and dancing on Nigerian TV at the moment. Praise for General Chiani, the coup leader, who hasn't actually appeared in public since the coup. In theory, you can say what you want, but that may change, as Musa Changani, who's been imprisoned by previous regimes, knows only too well.
On connaît nos droits, on ne va pas accepter de se taire. Voilà. Mais on sait que ça peut être dur, voilà, il peut y avoir des conséquences, il faut les assumer, c'est tout.
People gather for rallies each night in different neighborhoods. Most have known nothing but insecurity and endemic poverty all their lives. The leaders of the 5th coup since independence from France in 1960 are promising sovereignty and dignity. Who could blame Nigerians for hoping that will propel them to a better future?
Les forces de défense et de sécurité du Niger sont républicaines. Elles ne sont jamais intervenues sur la scène politique sans raison valable. Chaque fois qu'elles interviennent, il y a forcément une raison. Elles ne le font pas pour s'accaparer et rester au pouvoir. Elles font pour un temps. Lorsqu'elles remettent de l'ordre, elles se retirent.
But for the moment, the soldiers aren't going anywhere, just as they're not standing down in Burkina Faso or Mali. Across French-speaking West Africa, the lines are being redrawn as France is forced out and Russia works out where and when to make its next move.